Hello my friends, my name is Lindsay and I run the blog Books for Christian Girls, and welcome back to the little corner of the internet where I talk mainly about Christian fiction. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how interested y'all will be in this video, but it came to me last night and I was like, you know, this is gonna be fun for me at least, so I hope it's fun for y'all. I made it not a priority, but something more of like maybe a goal, but not really a goal. I don't know the word I'm looking for here. That I wanted to read more books off of my physical TBR. It's a great goal. I think every reader who has, let's say, over 30 books on their physical TBR will agree. That is a great goal, and yeah, we should all do that, and it never really happens. But last year, I actually did pretty well. I did about 55 books, and so I wanted to discuss those with y'all. But because there's so many, I'm going to, I think, I have half of this video planned in my brain. The other half, it's like, we're gonna just like polish this little diamond in the rough kind of concept here. And with those 55, I thought I could. I'm also getting over being like some kind of weird little sickness, so like my brain's misfiring. This video is gonna already feel chaotic, and I'm not even like a minute into it, so sorry about that. Sorry about that, but I was thinking that I could do a book. I feel like I need to hold a book as I say this. This is really weird for me. Anyway, I was thinking that I could describe the book's plot in maybe a sentence and then give y'all like a one-sentence review. I'm very confident in my one-sentence reviews, but the one-sentence, not summary, but like one sentence about the book, that's a little more concerning for me. So we're going to just see how this goes. At first, I was going to have them organized by the ones I kept, the ones I unhauled, the ones I'm unsure about, ones I DNF'd and just unhauled before. Because that's my main goal. When I read books off of my physical TBR, and I think that's anybody's goal when they read books off their TBR, is just to, and I'm pointing because this is my TBR. It's crazy. But I think the typical goal is to see if you're going to keep them or not. And see, I'm not one where I have to keep every book I've read. I used to be that way prior to booktube, I think, or right at booktube. When I started booktube, I wanted to keep any book I remotely enjoyed, but now I'm way more selective. So as I talk about these books, I would be really curious to know how y'all feel about keeping books or not, because I used to be if it's over 3 stars of a rating that I gave it for myself, then yeah, I'm going to keep it. But now, as space gets tighter and tighter, it's becoming more like 3.5, 4. But then there's some 3.5s on my shelf that I'm like, I really like the plot, but there was something, I don't know, I'm still really debating. And if you actually go to my Goodreads and you want to see like a little sneak peek of my brain, which is a scary thought right there, but if you were curious, I actually have a shelf on Goodreads that says own-50-50, which I can't do spaces on Goodreads shelves. They have to be dashes. So basically, it's a 50-50. Am I going to keep this book or not? And those are the ones I'm on the fence about. And you're going to see a few of those, well, really just a couple of those on that list today in this video. But I think I've rambled enough. I have my cup of tea. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to do this without losing my voice. I don't know what. A couple weeks ago, I had a really bad allergic reaction to somebody's perfume. And then I think that just pummeled my immune system. And the next day I had to run a bunch of errands, and I think I just picked up every germ in existence, it feels like. So, hang on, I hear Daisy. Come hang out in here with me. Yeah. You want the blankies? Here, hang on. They're under here. We have a visitor. You want to lay right here? Here. Lay on the blankies. Lay on the blankies. You don't want to lay on the blankies? Oh, y'all can't see her. Alright, we've got a visitor. Hopefully she'll be good. She's had a weird little cold thing too, so we're not quite sure what's going on about that. But what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying, but I feel like I ought to angle the camera down so y'all can see her, but then you're going to see more of the mess I have all over my floor. Cute beagle, messy floor. If y'all ignore the messy floor, we'll show you the beagle. Oh, you can barely still see her. But there she is. CB girl. Okay, I am going to tilt it back up though, just because I'll cut off my head, and that would be a little weird. Okay, so anyway, I'm feeling a little under the weather. Like I'm almost there, but not quite there. So I've got a cup of tea. We're going to take tea breaks if necessary. What was I saying on all the... I think I was explaining that. Anyway, I'm mostly fine. I still feel just a little off though, but I need to film a video. We gotta have a video out this week. I mean, we don't have to, but I'm really liking posting every week. So anyway, before I lose my voice talking about random stuff, let's talk about the books. So I was going to do this in organized order of the ones I kept, the ones I unhauled, yada yada. But I'm actually going to switch it up and do it in order of how I read them, because that way I can link them, the recent reads, to all the videos where I talked about all of these books in the description way easier for y'all. And I feel like that will just be way more cohesive. And then we can also keep a tally of all of the stats and whatnot, because I think that might be fun. So let's get started. So the first book was Shadows of Swampford Abbey by Julie Klassen. I gave this one 3.5 stars. The one sentence summary. Can I just use what they have on the back cover? Agatha Christie meets Jane Austen in this atmospheric Regency tale brimming with mystery, intrigue, and romance. Case closed, there you go. Let's see, for my one sentence summary, one sentence review really would be gothic, romantic, mystery set in Regency time period. No, that's not great. No, that's really just a summary. That's not really my opinion. This might be more challenging than I thought. Girl's author or brother needs help, and she's the one that has to help him because he doesn't get along with the editor or the publisher or something like that. And then my summary, I liked it. One of my favorites by this author. Nope, that was 2 sentences. One of my favorites by this author, I liked the atmosphere, and it was also set in the springtime. Does that count? Okay, we're moving on. I don't know. So that one I'm keeping. And then for the unhauled, I don't have all the books I unhauled anymore, so I'm going to have to put pictures up. So the one I unhauled was Don't Keep Silent by Elizabeth Goddard. I gave this 2 stars. Not as good as the first book in the series, and just multiple things that added up that affected my enjoyment. Daisy wants out, just a minute. And then plot-wise, I honestly don't remember the plot of this at all, so hang on, my dear friends. I thought I was ready for this video. I was not. I knew I wasn't, but I thought I could possibly be. Why is it that books you read over a year ago feel like so long ago? Maybe it's because I didn't really enjoy this book that much. So, romantic suspense about missing women, and forgiveness has to happen between the second chance couple. We're going to do that as the one sentence. And I already gave y'all my opinion on that one. Another book would be Malicious Intent by Lynn H. Blackburn. This is book 2 in the Defend and Protect series. Let's see. Doctor, female lead, creates new prosthetic prototype, but there's somebody out to sabotage her, so her childhood best friend, who is a Secret Service agent, has to protect her. I think that was one sentence. And then for my one sentence review, I was really confused at first at what was happening, but I really liked that he fell first and fell hard. Keeping this one. Courting Misfortune by Regina Jennings. I DNF'd this book, so I didn't give it a rating. I think I got to like a quarter of the way through. And what was it even about? I don't even remember. When it's a DNF, my brain just does not remember. Let's see. She is a female Pinkerton agent having to go undercover and deals with brothels. One sentence review would be, I had a really hard time getting into this one because of her being all over the place, and the male lead needs major character development, and I didn't get it soon enough. I think that's one. If I don't do an actual 1 star and I'm using major run-ons, forgive me, but loopholes. We're working with it, y'all. Malin by Anita Valley. I gave 3 stars. This was, oh wait, okay, let's see. Clean little princess story about adopted princesses of this one kingdom, and when their father dies, the citizens of the kingdom fuss over someone who was not originally from that kingdom becoming queen. think I got that. One sentence review. Cute little princess story, not much to say. Carolina by Anita Vale was book 2 in that series, and I didn't really care to read that one, so I just went ahead and unhauled it. So that was I mean, technically a DNF, but it was an unhauled, and I didn't even start it. I just wasn't interested in it, so I don't know. We'll just put it with the DNFs, I guess. Okay, so I made really meticulous notes this year on all that, but I'm really confused because I have that I owned book 2 before I owned book 1 and 3, and I read all of them via the library, but I already had owned this one, so I don't know how that happened, so I'm just going to talk about this one, but I'm not sure if these two, or at least the first book, also belongs in the list. I don't remember, and I cannot mentally remember this spine on my TBR shelf, so I don't know. I'm sincerely not sure about that, but okay, I think we're good to go. Sorry about that, y'all. My card was full, and this is a really big card, so I had to delete old footage that I hadn't deleted. But anyway, I'm not sure about this series, how that worked out. I only have this book marked though, so I'm gonna go with that. I gave this one 3.5 stars. The whole series was an honorable mention for my favorites this year. Last year, 2023, I really enjoyed them. Let's see. The main girl has a lying problem and needs to learn her worth and value, but there's really good lessons. For my one sentence review, lots of lessons to be learned about this girl who becomes a Harvey girl, but it was a really sweet historical romance fiction book. How am I doing, friends? Lights Out by Natalie Walters, I gave 2.5 stars and unhauled. This was a romantic suspense book about a fictional law enforcement agency, and the main characters have a past. And then for my personal review, I liked the premise, but had struggles with the main characters and the lack of faith content. A clean middle grade series, The Vanderbeekers Make a Wish. I don't remember which number this is. I feel like it's 5. Could be 6, or I think it's 5. Pretty sure it's 5. And for my summary for this book, I feel like I can really overlap what I say for the summary and what I say for my one sentence review, so I'm trying to be a little more creative, but the brain is fogged right now, so I'm not sure how well I'm doing with this, but I'm enjoying this attempting. I don't know. I gave this one 4 stars though, and I will be keeping it. Large families, extended family comes for the first time, and personalities clash. For my one sentence review, healthy family interactions, and even if they don't like the extended family, all the children are respectful, and I really appreciated that. There we go. Okay, I think I'm getting better at this. Am I getting better at this? Another book was From This Moment by Kim Vogel-Sawyer. This is going to be difficult to put in one sentence because there's a lot of characters and whatnot in this. Contemporary light romance that follows different characters, including a man who recently lost his fiance, a woman with a eating disorder, and a former Amish woman who all go to the same church. Yeah, we'll go with that. And then for my personal rating, 3.5 stars. And then my first contemporary book by this author, and it was a light romance that had its very sweet and also tear-jerking moments. This was a surprise. I wasn't expecting this book to be how it was, but it was good. I also just need to point out this cover. I want that porch. Just saying, I want that porch. That door, oh, prettiness. Whoops, that didn't work. Okay, we're going with it. Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This is a clean sci-fi dystopian series, very popular. I was one of the last ones to read it. For the one sentence review, a Cinderella retelling about a girl who is part cyborg and catches the eye of the prince. But there's more to her history than she knows. Okay, I'm feeling a little more confident here. For my one sentence review, I was so behind in reading this series compared to everyone else because it's an older series, but I binged them quickly, and this first book was my favorite and the best of the series. I know I'm doing major run-on sentences. Let's ignore that. Fatal Code by Natalie Walters. I gave 2 stars and unhauled it. Let's see. Summary. Main girl's grandfather, I think it was her grandfather, was a nuclear scientist and left her important papers that have left her with a target on her back. And thus here enters in our hero, who is her neighbor but also watching her for her safety. We'll go with that. For my 1 sentence review, I liked the friend group, but there was a comment at the end by a villain that I truly despised and turned my stomach. So with the track record I was having with Natalie Walters books, I've decided she's really not the author for me, and so I decided not to read Silent Shadows by her, which was a book in another series that I had started to read but decided not to finish. So I just went ahead and unhauled that one. The Vanderbeekers on the Road is also part of the Vanderbeeker series. I'm pretty sure this is book 6 because I think book 7 was the last one, and I'll be discussing that here in a bit. But this one, let's see. Large family plus their mini pets go on a cross-country road trip for their dad's birthday, and lots of things happen. Oh, and I think I gave this one 3.5. Yeah, I gave this one 3.5 stars. Personal thoughts. Not my favorite of the series, but still had its cute moments. Yeah. Not really too much to say about this one. The illustrations are always so cute on this series. Mark of the Raven by Morgan L. Bussey. I gave 3.5 stars and unhauled. Oh, I unhauled the whole series, so okay. I feel like I need to defend myself about this series. Let's see. Fantasy book where the main girl has a gift of walking through people's dreams, but when she finds out her family uses that for evil, she becomes conflicted and things happen. My 1 sentence review of this one. Started out strong and really had good potential for me, but I didn't care for the rest of the series, that's why I unhauled it. Flight of the Raven by Morgan L. Bussey. I gave 2 stars. I'm not going to really give you any info on that one because it follows the same character, so I won't do the sentence summary for that, but let's see. For the 1 sentence review, captivating plot, but went right up to the line of what I'm comfortable with spiritual warfare and a Fade to Black scene. Cry of the Raven by Morgan L. Bussey. I gave 3 stars, and I still also unhauled the whole trilogy. I would have kept this whole series if it didn't have the Fade to Black scene, but I'm very particular on those. I really don't like those. I don't need to know those information. So for the 1 sentence review, this trilogy was an adventure, and there were things I liked and didn't like about it. If you like this series, I totally can see why. It's just, it wasn't quite what I like. I'm sorry. Keeper of the Lost Cities, no. Did I, oh, I know I said it right! Go me, okay. Keeper of the Lost Cities, book 1 by Shannon Messenger. So, 3 stars. I actually am unhauling this edition because it's a paperback, and this series is so big the spines will be cracked, and I would rather have dog-eared pages than cracked spines. Is that a popular opinion or an unpopular opinion? I don't know. Let's do a poll in the comments and talk about which one do you despise more. For me, it's cracked spines. I cannot stand cracked spines. Like, no. So for that, I bought a hardback copy. So I mean, technically this is an unhaul, but it's also technically a keep. I'm not sure how to do that on my little score tracker thing, but let's see. I feel like a lot of people know about this clean middle grade fantasy series. It's middle grade, but I wouldn't recommend it for middle grade. But okay, 1 sentence summary. Tween girl finds out that she is part elf, which explains why she can read people's thoughts, and gets whisked away to the Lost Cities. My 1 sentence review I can do in 1 word. Addicting. This whole series was so addicting. It was a little insane. Journey's End by Renee Ryan. I gave 2 stars, and I have unhauled this one, but like I haven't fully unhauled it yet, so that's why I'm holding it up, but I'm not keeping it. Let's see. This had to do with Caroline St. James has never known her mother's biological family after her mom was cut off from the family for marrying her father. Caroline's father. Just, I don't know. And so she goes to them for revenge and meets their attorney that's really cute, and they start to fall for each other, but things happen. I keep saying, but things happen. That feels like a cop-out. I'm sorry, but you know, things happen. Things happen. My one sentence review, I really liked the premise, but it had too much sexual tension for my taste and brought the rating down a lot. Victoria Grace the Jerkface by S.C. Clancy was actually a reread for me, but it was one I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep or not. I was pretty sure I was going to, but I did end up keeping it and giving it 3.5 stars. Let's see. This is a book about Victoria Grace, who I don't think is a jerkface, and she has a assignment at school to help out at it's not a nursing facility, a retirement home, and she learns about history through Marigold, and then there's also a new student in her class that's really cute. They were really cute together. Like, they were really cute. I mean, Victoria and Marigold, but also Victoria and the new kid. He also had a Texas twang, and obviously I'm biased for that. But for a one sentence review, reread it and still really enjoyed it. Possibly even a bit more. I don't want to discuss the next book. 1,000 Heartbeats by Kira Cass. Look at this junker of a book. I gave this one 2 stars, and I've unhauled it. Okay. How can I describe this book? A princess that doesn't want to take responsibility. That was harsh, Lindsey. A princess who... I don't know what to say complimentary here, people. I didn't care for this book. A princess who wants to find out answers about what happened to her mother, and the killer assassin guy, I don't know what he was, of the other kingdom that's trying to take over her kingdom knows more than he lets on. Well, actually, no, he tells her. Never mind, scratch that. He knows more, and I don't know. I don't want to describe this book. I didn't care for it. Let's see. Personal opinion was an unpopular opinion, but I didn't like it because of the main characters and the lack of happiness. Oh my word, the lack of happiness, y'all. And also the fox scene. If you know, you know, and I hated it. So, hated that scene so much. So, yeah, unhauled. Did y'all just hear the slap that just put down? Wow. I love how I keep scooching around in my chair right now. My chair is, there we go. Okay. Code of Valor by Lynette Eason. Main guy is a detective and wanted a relaxing vacation, but ends up finding the main girl having an attempted murder on her. Is that proper grammar? Probably not. Let's see. It handled hard topics and had heavy themes, but I liked the sibling content of this series. I feel like I need to give another like little hint, but okay, there you go. I'm unfortunately unhauling this. I gave it 2.5 stars. I also read the 4th book in that series, which was Vow of Justice by Lynette Eason. I hate this cover. This cover is, he's staring into my soul, so we're gonna go like this. I gave this one also 2.5 stars. Main characters are in the FBI, and she has to fake her death, and that's all I got. Let's see, for my thoughts on this one. Unrealistic actions by law enforcement main characters, and also had many mentions of the murder of a child, which was just hard to read about. 2.5 stars, unhauling. A Royal Quest by Melody Carlson is, I'm gonna put this more as clean because there really wasn't much faith content, but it's right on the cusp, and it's Melody Carlson who writes Christian fiction, but it's that little overlapping circle, you know? So, let's see. Royal twins battling for the throne, and the main girl is way more suitable to be the queen and goes off on a tour of the kingdom before she becomes crowned. What's the word? I don't know. So she knows what she needs to do for the people of her kingdom. Didn't expect much from this princess story, and the romance came out of complete left field, but I suspect the second book will be better and have more explanation. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. I don't know when book 2 is coming out, but I do plan to watch for it. Cooking the Books by Vera Dodge. This is part of the Secrets of Mary's Bookshop series about a woman who has a bookstore and gets roped in on mysteries as an amateur sleuth. So let's see. Mary gets roped in on finding where $50,000 from the church's bank account went. Personal thoughts? Not many thoughts. Not bad. The Tutor's Daughter by Julie Klassen. I gave 2 stars. I am unhauling it. Main girl's father runs a school, mentor thing. I don't know what the name of it is. And she helps and gets roped in with helping teach this one family whose 2 younger sons when the 2 older sons were a part of the school before and grew up with her. And this is the worst run-on sentence ever. And as you can probably imagine, there's romance. Okay. For my one sentence review, had the "we're gonna die, so we're going to make out and confess our feelings" trope, and I despise that trope. Like, I had other issues with this book, but that was the main one. I was just like, didn't really care for that part. You Belong with Me by Terry Ferris. I was generous and gave it 2 stars. I'm unhauling it and the other 2 books in the series that I owned. So that was Until I Met You and Since You've Been Gone. What was the point of this book besides infuriating me? Main girl's trying to prove herself to her small town and save a park or something. I don't remember. A gazebo, something like that. And enlists her childhood best friend who has enough weight on his shoulders to help her. My thoughts on this book: gorgeous floral spine, but the main girl was absolutely infuriating and checking out her best friend way too much, so meh. A Proper Pursuit by Lynn Austin. I gave 3 stars and I unhauled it. Set around the Chicago World Fair, Violet longs for romance and to find out what happened to her birth mother. My personal thoughts: too many mixed messages for teen girls, especially because she had 4 love interests and they all were very different, and she was most attracted to the dangerous one because he was dangerous. So yeah, there's that. Unhauled that one. Digging Up Clues by Kellyanne Riley. I gave 3 stars. This is also part of the Secrets of Mary's Bookshop series. Treasure hunting happens on Cape Cod, and Mary, the main character, finds some hidden treasure, and it causes a lot of tea and drama in the community. Personal thought: the treasure hunting parts are fun, and I'm always good for that in a book. Shady Characters by Susan Page Davis, also part of the Secrets of Mary's Bookshop series. I gave 3 stars. I'll be keeping it. Mary's really good friend buys a old car, 1955 Buick, if that means anything to you. Century, if that means anything to you. And when she goes to see it, she finds him knocked out and unconscious. Personal thoughts: poor Henry. That's all I gotta say. Poor Henry. Another Secrets of Mary's Bookshop book I read was Hidden Meanings, blah, blah, blah. Another Secrets of Mary's Bookshop series. I wanted to complete this series last year, and I did, which I'm very happy about. Hidden Meaning by Elizabeth Adams. Woman passes away in the community, and a stranger comes and says that woman stole her late daughter's identity, so it's up to Mary to find out what happened. Personal thoughts: I really, really liked the premise, but I did not agree with how Mary handled things at the end. I gave this 2.5 stars, but I probably will keep it because I I don't know, it's a guidepost series. I'll probably keep this one even though it's a 2.5-star rating for me. And then the final book in the Secrets of Mary's Bookshop series, you can read them out of order, but I always typically read them in order, is Mixed Motives by Kara Putman. Mary's sister Betty gets kidnapped and I think held ransom. Yes, a hefty ransom. And Mary tries to find her. Personal thoughts. Final book in the series ends with kidnapping and overall wasn't bad. It's really hard. The series, like, it's all the different writers, so sometimes Mary feels different, and sometimes, like, there's new characters and you're like, ah, you're the villain, you're the culprit, or you're a red herring, or whatever. They very much do give off, like, Hallmark mystery murder movies kind of vibes, but, you know, that's not bad. They're easy to read. Manor for Sale, Baron included. Look at all my tabs I did. That didn't work, but I did lots of tabs in this book. I gave it 4 stars, so I'm keeping this one. And then for the summary, main guy has to sell his manor because of financial difficulties, but then starts to woo a girl who's interested in buying his manor and thinks they will just live happily ever after together. Personal thoughts, Gin Toronto, but clean, and Regency, and I laughed a ton. I laughed so hard at this book. The Looking Glass Illusion by Sarah Ella, I gave 3.5 stars. This was actually a pre-order, and I didn't really want to put pre-orders on this list if I had an advanced reader copy, so I'm only having pre-orders that were complete pre-orders. I should have clarified that at the beginning. Interesting. Oops, forgot to give that disclaimer. This is book 2 in a duology, and it's a fantasy alternate universe reimagining of Alice in Wonderland. So I really don't feel like I can tell you too much about it, but there's a little bit. For my thoughts, I was confused for most of the book, but it all worked out. That's all. Yeah, that's it. Gorgeous cover too, by the way. So, Inspired by Grace by Jenna Ellsworth. I gave it 2 stars and I unhauled it. This was supposed to be a clean Regency book. Regency story where the main couple grew up together, and basically that's the premise right there. That's the basic premise. Friends to more I adore, but best friends to more I love even more. But then there's 40% to go and there's problems appear. I fear my rating became drear. Dr. Seuss, eat your heart out. No. Yeah, I'm trying to, this is a little more challenging than I thought. I tried to think of some of these ahead, but yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that one. The Vanderbeekers Ever After. This was book 7. It's supposed to be the last book in the series. I don't know about that. I gave this one 2.5 stars. Final book in a really sweet series, but someone gets sick in the family and it shakes the family's world. Personal thoughts, really tempted to ignore this book even exists because I cried and it was sad and it didn't end happy enough. No. So honestly, I pre-ordered this book, but I'm incredibly tempted to unhaul it. I'm unsure about it, but I feel like I ought to unhaul it. Number one, I've got my Vanderbeeker books already organized very cutely and like it won't fit, and I don't want to think that this is the last book of the series and it ended the way it did. Like, it was kind of hopeful, but it wasn't happy enough for me, and I cried a lot. So, you know, meh. I'm unsure about that one. I was going to mention New Leash on Life because this was a pre-order. However, I did receive an advanced reader copy ebook-wise of this book, so I'm not technically putting it in this video, but I gave it 4 stars and this series was excellent, so there you go. Deadly Proof by Rachel Dillon. I'm very unsure about. I gave it 3 stars. I don't know yet if I'm going to unhaul it or keep it. Like, Okay, so premise first was main girl is a lawyer fighting, the lead lawyer, fighting against a pharmaceutical company that has caused many people harm. And then she has threats that require a bodyguard. I really liked the legal side of the plot, but the main characters kind of had the same personality as an inanimate object, and then romance was shoehorned into the plot. That sounded really harsh, but I mean, it's true. They had no personality outside of their jobs, and then falling in love with each other was weird. So, unsure about this one. I really liked the pharmaceutical law side and like her going against them. I really liked that element, but I'm running out of space. So this is on the chopping block. A Lady of High Regard by Tracy Peterson. I DNF'd and am unhauling. Main girl Mia, set in 1852, thinks she can use her privilege to help others, but it backfires. Obviously. Personal thoughts? This girl didn't have the sense the good Lord gave a goose. So there in turn, I also did attempt to read the rest of this series. I attempted, y'all. You gotta give me props that I at least tried. Book 2, I think, was A Lady of Hidden Intent. Her father was falsely accused, and so she runs away to America to be a dressmaker, but here comes somebody who knew her from her past. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that. Didn't care for it. Just didn't care for it. Couldn't get interested in it. I'm not gonna do a one sentence for that. I'm gonna give you just 2 little thoughts there. And then A Lady of Secret Devotion. Oh, this one. Main girl is suddenly, unexpectedly, unrealistically hired as a companion to this rich widow, and the main guy is a insurance investigator. Is after the woman's son, who possibly commit fraud, and befriends her for that reason. Main girl was a blabbermouth, and the guy had no compassion at all. So, unhauling this whole trilogy, but I did try. I think I deserve props for trying. I was pretty sure I was going to keep these books, but they still go on the list because they technically were on my physical TBR. Bad Things, Small Packages by Perry Elizabeth Kirkpatrick. I gave 4 stars and I'm keeping it. Oh, how can I explain this book? This whole series is just so much fun. The villains want a top secret SD card, and it's up to our accidental spy to keep them from getting it. Oh, well, can I use that as both? Let me use that as both my summary and my thoughts, because I feel like that works. I really like this series. It's fun, just fun. Tutor Nanny Spit Up Spy, I gave 4 stars and will be keeping. Accidental Spy has to become a nanny for a group of kiddos when their diplomat father, no, he was a president of a small South American country, sorry, okay. And things happen. I'm just gonna use my cop-out right there, but really fun. 1 sentence review, my favorite of the series that I've read so far. A Spying We Will Go by Perry Elizabeth Kirkpatrick, I also gave 4 stars. This series is so bingeable, y'all. It's so much fun. Let's see. Accidental Spy is supposed to go on a normal camping trip, but things happen. No, I'm not going to say that. While making new friends, her spy duties interfere. We'll go with that. And then, personal thought, the only kind of camping trip I would want to go on. But not really. Not really. Not really. When you think about what she's got to go through in that book, not really. But anyway, Once Upon a Dime by Perry Elizabeth Kirkpatrick, I gave 4 stars, and I'm keeping it. We're seeing a theme here. Unfortunately, this is the last book I get to talk about in this series, in this video, because I haven't read books 7 and 8 because I've heard they end on awful cliffhangers, and book 9's not out yet, so I've got to wait. But every time I talk about these series, I just get the urge to continue. I want to read them. I feel like I'm missing out, but like I know all I'm missing is cliffhangers. So wait, patience. Lindsey, I must have patience. It's not my strong suit. It's not really anyone's strong suit, I feel like, except Job. But Once Upon a Dime by Perry Elizabeth Kirkpatrick. Our accidental spy is accidentally in danger and helps at a political campaign call center to find out information about their spy cases. Thoughts? Politics without actual politics. And our accidental spy is awesome as always. This is such a fun series. I feel like I keep talking about this series. It's so much fun. Oops, did I skip a book? I did skip a book. I'm sorry, my friends. Okay, we're gonna backtrack a minute. The Cryptographer's Dilemma by Johnny. I think it's probably Johnny Alexander. I gave this one 4.5 stars. Wow. Okay, so let's see. Ooh, they have a sentence on the back. A code breaker uncovers a Japanese spy ring and gets stuck with an FBI agent, and they go on a cross-country adventure during World War II to find out who the doll woman is. There we go. This was really good. Okay, my one sentence summary. I would read a series about this main couple. They were so much fun. And it was a hidden gem on my bookshelf that had been staring at me for so long, telling me it was a good read, and I didn't realize it. But I finally have realized it and read it and really liked it. That was a major run-on sentence. We're going with it. Vying for the Viscount by Christine Hunter. I gave 3.5 stars, and I did end up unhauling it. I was gonna keep it, but I decided to unhaul it with the rest of the trilogy. Let's see. Main guy inherits his, I think it was grandfather's manor, and has been living in India all his life. So he travels and goes to this manor with lots of horses and the main girl next door. Thought-wise, best book of the series in my honest opinion. And I really liked that the main guy was completely clueless about society and she had to help him. Winning a Gentleman by Christine Hunter. I gave 3 stars. The main girl rides horses and does tricks in a circus. I can't think of what that's called. And becomes a jockey for the main guy. She goes and becomes like a horse racing jockey. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Thoughts, not bad, but the main girl was really nosy. I did read that 3rd book, but I'm doing this in order of how I read them, so we're gonna wait a minute to discuss that. The next book would be Prank War by Olivia Jarsmish. I keep meaning to message this author, this sweet author, and ask her how she pronounces her last name. I feel like I've already done that before and I've got the memory of a goldfish. I gave this one 3 stars though. I'm keeping it. This is a middle grade series about a princess who is living in Kentucky at a horses boarding school with horses. There's the grammar. And in this book, there's some boy versus girl pranks and rivalry with lessons to be learned. My thoughts? Cute middle grade book with lessons to be learned. I'm cheating. I'm so cheating. It wasn't my favorite of the series, but it still has its good lessons. I attempted another Tracy Peterson series, and what was the name of it? Bells of Lowell. Is that supposed to rhyme, or does it just rhyme because of my Texas twang? I'm not sure. Daughter of the Loom is the only one I attempted. I went ahead and just unhauled, what was this? A Fragile Design and these Tangled Threads. They are all 3 written by Tracy Peterson and Judith Miller. What can I tell you about this book? But honestly, they just felt very old historical Christian fiction. And not old as in the time period, but like written 10 plus years ago, and very much that old formula that historical Christian fiction had, if you know. So yeah, there was that one. Unhauling those 3. And then Merry Humbug Christmas by Sandra D. Brooker. This was so much fun. I gave this one 4 stars. I am keeping it. I have tabs all over it. This book contains 2 novellas featuring 2 best friends' very different Christmases, with one who hates Christmas on a Christmas-themed cruise accidentally, and then her best friend is meeting her fiance's family for the first time, and everything that could go wrong does go wrong. My thoughts? Super cute, hidden gem on my TBR bookcase that has been staring at me for me to read it for years, and I finally read it and really, really enjoyed it. The last book would be Enchanting the Heiress, but did I say that right? Enchanting the Heiress by Christine Hunter. I gave this one 2 stars and I unhauled it with the rest of the trilogy. Main guy is the twin brother of the main girl from book 2 and works as a stable guy? What's the word? I don't remember. And the main girl is a heiress that has way too much time on her hands. Personal thoughts, I didn't care for either of the main characters, but especially didn't care for her lying and manipulating him into helping her deceive her father. He didn't know, but still, I don't care for that. So there we go, my friends. That is all the books. Woo! We did it. Hopefully this wasn't that long. I was hoping, because I was doing them with like hopefully just a sentence or two, it wouldn't be too terribly long. I don't know. Hopefully these are our stats. I think I calculated the stats right personally. So that would be 55 books total. I kept 24 of them. I unhauled 19. I unhauled 11 before I even read them. So I mean technically you could say that was 30 total if you wanted. And then I have 2 books I'm unsure about. And hopefully those stats all match what I did, because I have counted and counted and counted to make sure my numbers were correct, but honestly feeling a little off, so we're just gonna hope that was right, hope that's right. So 24 out of 55, what's the percentage on that? Let's find that out. 43%. So you know, that's not bad. That's not bad, I don't think. I read, what was it, 170 books last year, and I knocked 56 off. I wish I could have done like an even 70 off of. I feel like I could have done better on that, but you know, 56 is nothing to scoff at. But I also know I most likely bought more than, yeah, I definitely bought more than 56 books last year. So it's kind of a moot point, you know? Things to think about. Things to think about. So we'll see how I do in 2024. Thus far, I think I've read 6 or 7 books off of my physical TBR. And you know, for only a couple months into the year, that's not bad. I would prefer it to be higher, but I've had to focus my attention on other books, and my physical TBR is just, it is what it is, you know? I'm just prepared. I'm prepared for what? I don't know, but I'm prepared to have lots of books. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little more low-key than I typically am. Trying to feel better. I'm working on it. Hopefully y'all still enjoy this video. Let me know. I'm not even really sure what I'm going to title this video. I have my note as reading the books I own, but it's like that's not really the most eye-catching title, is it? But you know, you kind of get the point. I gave y'all the one sentence summaries and all that. So hopefully that was entertaining. I don't know. I'm tired. I want a nap. But I hope this video was fun. Let me know if you've read any of these. I would be really curious what your thought of unhauling books. When do you unhaul books? Do you unhaul books? Do you like unhauls? I like watching unhaul videos. It's always a little painful when I see someone unhaul a book I really like. So if that was the case for you, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm passing those along to maybe someone who would like them more, is the hope of that, at least. And what was I had another question. Oh, if y'all have read a book off of your physical TBR recently, would you want to try to do the one sentence, not summary, but you know, like about the book, like enough where you can maybe get someone interested, but not like, you know, give spoilers? If you want to try to do that, and then maybe a sentence of your thoughts. I don't know, that was a fun challenge. How did I do, y'all? Did I do okay? Like, I think I gave Dr. Seuss a run for his money at one point, but elsewise I would have been creamed by him. But to be fair, if you read one of his books as an adult, they're not the, like, they're very creative, but they're not, like, they make no sense. They make no sense. So maybe I shouldn't be comparing myself to him. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm going to keep rambling. I hope you enjoyed it, though. This was different for me. Thanks for hanging out with me at my desk again. I really am enjoying just filming here at my desk and just chatting with y'all. It kind of is just, it's fun. You know, it's just fun. So anyway, I will see y'all next time. Thank you so much for watching. I am Lindsey from the blog booksforchristiangirls.blogspot.com, where there's a new review every Monday and Friday. I try to post a new video on this channel every Friday. I want to try to keep that going. I am also on Instagram and TikTok and Goodreads and lots of all those social media sites, so we can just add to your TBR of good, clean Christian fiction. And I will see y'all next time, I hope. If you're not already subscribed, feel free to hit subscribe. I never say that in my videos, but just like as a little reminder if you'd like to see more of my videos, and they will be more upbeat and cheery and whatnot. This is just kind of a dreary day. The sun's actually starting to peek out, which is nice, but I'm not feeling the best, so we're just doing what we can do. I hope you enjoyed this video though, regardless of all that, and I hope to see y'all next time. Have an absolutely lovely rest of your day.